Hello, everyone. In this video, we will be discussing some basic pricing strategies. So, knowing what your competitors are charging is a critical part of setting your own prices. This does not mean you have to always match or beat their prices, but it does give you a sense of the market landscape. Take two directly competing fast food chains, for example. They might be aware of each other's pricing strategies, but they don't always price their products at the same level. One fast food might offer more affordable meal combos, while the other might promote premium burgers at a slightly higher price. Both strategies work because they target different customer preferences. One important consideration here is avoiding price wars. Price wars happen when companies continuously lower their prices to outdo each other. While this may seem good for the consumers in the short term, it can hurt companies in the long run by reducing profit margins for everyone. So imagine if these two fast food companies kept lowering prices. Eventually, both brands would struggle to make a profit. Instead of engaging in price wars, companies often find ways to differentiate themselves, like offering better service, offering loyalty programs, or offering unique products. By analyzing competitors' prices, you can also identify opportunities to position your brand differently. For example, if all your competitors are competing on price, you could focus on offering better quality or a more personalized experience. So, knowing what your competitors are doing helps you set a strategy that balances competitive pricing with unique value. Once we understand our costs and competitors, the next step is choosing a pricing method. There are several options here, depending on your business strategy. One common method is the markup pricing. The markup pricing is where you add a fixed percentage to your product's cost to determine the selling price. It's often used in the retail industry. For example, a clothing store might buy shirts from a supplier at 500 pesos each and then mark them up by 50%, selling them for 750 pesos to final customers. It's a simple method, but it does not always consider customer demand or competitors' pricing. Another method is the target rate of return pricing, which is more common in industries with large investments like manufacturing or real estate. The goal here is to set a price that ensures you get a specific return on investment. For instance, a real estate developer building a new condominium might calculate how much they need to sell each unit for to achieve a 20% return on their total investment in the project. Then there's economic value to customer pricing, which focuses on the value a customer perceives in a product rather than its cost. For example, people pay more for a specific gadget brand, not because it costs that much to make, but because they see it as a premium product with high value in terms of design, in terms of brand, and in terms of its technology. Lastly, we have competitive pricing and auction pricing. Competitive pricing is when you set your prices based on what your competitors are charging. This is common in industries like airlines, where pricing is very transparent. On the other hand, auction pricing allows customers to bid on products, with the highest bid winning. This is often used in platforms like eBay or for products where the value is subjective, like art or antiques. The method you choose will depend on your market, your goals, and the value you want to offer to customers. After selecting the pricing method, we're ready to set the final price. But sometimes the price we set initially is not the price everyone pays. This is where price discrimination comes in. Price discrimination allows companies to charge different prices to different customers based on factors like customer segment, product form, channel, location, and time. Let's start with customer segment pricing. You see this a lot in transportation. For example, airlines often charge lower prices for students or senior citizens. Similarly, some tourist spots in the Philippines have different pricing for locals and foreigners, allowing locals to access the same attractions but at a more affordable rate. Next, we have product form pricing. This means that different versions of the same product are priced differently. A good example is books. Hardcover versions usually cost more than paperbacks, even though the content in the book is still the same. This strategy allows companies to capture more value from customers who are willing to pay for a premium version of the product. Channel pricing is when the price differs depending on where the product is sold. For instance, products bought online might be cheaper than those bought in physical stores because there are fewer overhead costs. You may have noticed that some products are cheaper, for example, on Lazada or on Shopee, compared to when you purchase them from the mall. There's also location pricing, where companies charge different prices based on geographic location. For example, a unit in Manila is much more expensive than the same sized unit in, let's say, Davao, because of the differences in demand and the cost of living. Finally, time pricing refers to prices that vary depending on the time of purchase or usage. For example, if you book a flight during a peak season like Christmas or Holy Week, you'll pay more than if you book during off peak times. This is a way for companies to manage demand and maximize revenue during high demand periods. When a company offers a range of products, they need to think about product mix pricing. This involves strategically pricing related products to maximize overall profitability. One common strategy is loss leader pricing, where a company prices one product low to attract customers, hoping they'll buy more profitable products along with it. Supermarkets use this all the time by pricing items like rice or eggs very low, but once you're in the store, you're likely to buy other, more expensive items. Another strategy is optional feature pricing, which you often see in industries like technology or cars. For example, when you buy a video game console, the core product might be affordable, but the price goes up quickly as you add optional features like an additional controller or limited edition games. This gives customers flexibility while allowing companies to make extra profit from those people willing to pay more. Captive pricing is when the main product is priced low, but complementary products are priced high. A common example is printers and ink. The printer might be very affordable, but the cost of ink cartridges can be quite high. And since you need ink to use the printer, the company ensures continuous profits. We also have two-part pricing, where companies charge a fixed fee plus a variable usage fee. For example, many amusement parks charge an entrance fee to enter the park and then an additional fee for each ride. The main difference between optional feature pricing and two part pricing is that in the two-part pricing, you must pay for the core product in order to enjoy the extra features, and both are offered by the same company. But for optional feature pricing, you may opt to buy the optional features separately from one company and the core product from another company. By product pricing is when a company sells byproducts from the production process to reduce the cost of the main product. For example, food processing companies often sell waste materials as animal feed or fertilizer. This helps them offset costs and reduce waste. Lastly, there's product bundling pricing, where companies offer multiple products together at a discounted price. So think of fast food chains like McDonald's, for instance. They offer combo meals that include a burger, fries, and a drink at a lower price than if you were to buy each item separately. That's because McDonald's encourages customers to buy more while feeling like they're getting a good deal. Sometimes businesses need to adjust their prices due to changing market conditions. One common reason is to stimulate demand, and this is where initiating price cuts comes in. For example, if a new competitor enters the market with lower prices, a company might reduce its prices to remain competitive. We saw this with mobile networks in the Philippines, where Globe and Smart offered lower data prices to keep up with new players like Dito. While this can increase short term sales, companies must be cautious about cutting prices too much, as it can harm the brand's perceived value. On the other hand, there are times when companies need to increase prices rather. This usually happens when costs go up. Maybe raw materials have become more expensive or transportation costs have increased due to rising fuel prices. This is called cost inflation. And businesses have to decide whether to absorb the extra cost or to pass it on to the customers. For example, during the global oil price hike, airlines and delivery services raised their prices to cover the additional cost of fuel. Another reason for increasing prices is anticipatory pricing. This happens when a company raises prices in anticipation of future cost increases or demand spikes. An example would be hotels increasing room rates in December because they know there will be higher demand during the Christmas season. But what if your competitors make a price change? Mm. Responding to competitors' price changes is always tricky. If a competitor drops their prices, you don't always have to follow. Instead, you can focus on maintaining your value proposition. For example, some premium brands choose not to lower their prices because they want to maintain their image of quality and exclusivity. Starbucks in the Philippines, for instance, rarely lowers prices, even if local coffee shops offer cheaper alternatives. And that's because Starbucks customers are paying for the overall experience and not just the Starbucks coffee.